What's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. And this morning we have yet another amazing guest. My guest today is, as most all of our guests are on this show, 1,100 episodes of Wake Up Legendary interviewing our own clients about their experience going through our education, our courses, and launching their business out there on the internet, on social media, what it's like, the good, the bad, the ugly, making money, dealing with criticism, getting on camera, all the things. With that being said, let's jump right into it this morning. Please help me welcome my guest to the show, Mr. Brandon Hare. How you doing, my friend? Good morning to you.
Well, good morning.
Good to see you, dude. Where are you calling in from?
Victoria, Texas.
All right, man. Ever been on a show or a podcast or anything like this before?
No, sir. This is a first time, so this is a experience.
Okay, cool, man. Cool. Well, hey, hopefully we make it a good experience for you, man. So you want to come back and see me in the future at the very least and keep us posted on your journey. As you know, that's what this show is all about. Have you watched it or seen the show as you were kind of going through our challenge or our education here?
Yes, sir. I try to tune in as much as possible with my work schedule, but I try to tune in as much as I can.
What do you do outside of internet marketing?
I am a process operator and first responder at Dow Chemical in Cedar, Texas. So basically, I monitor process flows and temperatures and try to bring them up to spec. And we make various forms of plastics. And then I'm part of the first responder crew. So if anything goes wrong out there, I'm the guy running towards it instead of running away from it.
All right. Well, that's cool, man. Good. Always good to have you guys around. So what brought you into this, man? I mean, what had you or led you? Was this intentional? Was this something that you stumbled upon? And ultimately, what's the the motivation for I guess wanting to have a side hustle or a business?
What started it all was my wife and I, we sat down with our financial advisor and we started going over our retirement and just seeing where we were. This is her first time, or at the time, whenever we sat down with them, it was her first time being at a job to where she had any type of retirement available. So we wanted to sit down and go over numbers and see where we can adjust in order to try to not only help our retirement, but put stuff aside, put money aside for my son's schooling whenever he gets older and so on and so forth. And we just started looking and crunching numbers, and we were thinking like, man, we're doing really good compared to whenever we first started, but it's not looking too bueno whenever we come to a retirement. You know, we're setting up decently. $1 million isn't anything to sneeze at, but whenever it comes to the fact that $1 million isn't enough to retire now, let alone 30 years from now, you got to start reevaluating things and seeing how you or what you could do in order to change it. So we started having a conversation about it, and my schedule is a little bit more freely because she works Monday through Friday, and I worked alternating shifts between days and nights, and usually about 14 days throughout the month. So I have the rest of the month, free. So we started talking, and I was like, well, how about I just start looking into online businesses that I could possibly do on the days that I'm off. Fast forward, started watching this redneck from Carolina, North Carolina, I believe, by the name of Derek Lancaster. And I was like, man, if he can do it, why in the world, what's stopping me? So I reached out to him, and he gave me his personal cell phone number, and he walked me through the whole process and explained why he went with marketing, of affiliate marketing, and I just dove in head first, and it's been an awesome experience since.
That's really cool, man. And a lot of points that are well taken, and I think a lot of people can relate to. Uh, I don't know why you use the $1 million number. Maybe that's a number that's relevant to you. Maybe you had a million. Maybe it was just something that you threw out there. But
It kind of was. I'm just thinking again, just purely off of having the ability to retire happily without having to worry about finances, medical, anything like that.
yeah, well, I mean, there's even a formula for coming up with that exact number, and it's called, I believe, your fire number.
My
Uh,
fire number.
yeah, and I believe that's what it's called. And what it is it's basically the number that if you live on 5%, or excuse me, I think the average is 4% of the interest that your money makes. On average, over the past 100 years, the stock market has averaged about a 10% return, 10 to 13%, 13% more recently. Most people live on about 4 to 5% of their retirement, or in a perfect world, they do the interest that or the compounding interest, right? That's what an investment does.
Right.
If I have, $1 million, and I want to put it, quote, in the stock market, I'm going to go do something like buy an index fund that you know that kind of spreads that, by buying one stock, it spreads it across all 500 companies in the biggest companies in the S&P 500, or the stock market. Either way, digressing back, the point is that this fire number, in order to have that, a nest egg of stocks or equities that are pumping off that interest, you have to have stocks that you've bought.
Right.
And what this fire formula is that if you take your yearly expenses and you multiply that by 25, whatever you're going to need to live off of, for times 25, yearly expenses times 25, that's your fire number. That's what you need in order to, if you're going to again, with that money, the strategy is, it's not to just put the money in a bank account and you whittle it away, and you set it out, uh,
Right.
try to make it last until for the next 25 years, and then you run out of money after 25 years. No, the point is that if you can save up, so many of you are probably doing that math thinking, damn, that's a lot of money. And it is. I mean, the point is that it is and it isn't, right? The point is that if you actually want to retire, if you actually want to, quote, live off of the money that is working for you, instead of you working for the money. Now, certainly you first have to work for the money, and that means living under your means, getting it, unless you're earning an extraordinary amount of money, having a side hustle, whatever, to where you can get that number. But if you can get your monthly expenses down to a few thousand a month, 5,000 a month, then you start to, look at, okay, how much do I need? And then you begin to take every extra penny that you have and start putting it in that investment vehicle, whatever you're going to use. I've always told people, and I tell people this, I actually do a breakdown of this on Sunday at our masterminds, a complete financial process in wealth building and financial management system, which I lay out in full detail. One of which, the components, is, of course, investing, which is, opening yourself a brokerage account at Merrill Edge or Charles Schwab or E Trade or whatever you want, and beginning to buy index funds, something simple. Now, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just what I've done in the
Right.
system that I've used. And ultimately, what all of the, I've got, there's incredible evidence backing just this simple formula, as much as Warren Buffett saying, look, if I wasn't a knowledgeable investor, even when I die, I'm going to have my entire wealth that I leave from my wife and my family put in a simple index fund that's just going to track the stock market and likely pump off on average about 10% return. And then I begin to, so anyways, you bring that down to the average person experience. There is a formula to find out exactly how much you need if you invest it wisely and live on a fixed budget.
Right.
But back to your point originally, which is, yeah, that's not a couple of $1,000. That's what is. Do you have the math? I don't have a calculator right now, but if you could get your expenses down to $5,000 a month, multiply that by 12. So 5,000 times 12 is what? 60?
Yeah.
Okay, now multiply 60,000 times 25.
Times 25. So that's 1,500,000.
Okay. So you need enough in order for 4% of your to be 5,000, right? So
Right.
what it was, a million,
1,500,000.
1,500,000. Okay, so take your calculator and put in 2 million, and then divide that by well, you're looking for 4%. We need 4% of $2 million.
2 million times 0.04.
I believe that's the formula or the equation for it. Yeah, go ahead.
0.04. So 80 grand.
Okay, 80 grand per year. So roughly now divide that by 12.
So about $6,700 a month.
Okay. So I mean, if you wanted to have $6,700 a month to live, and that was only 4%. Now, here's the interesting part about having an actual investment vehicle. That means that your $2 million stays a $2 million and even grows, because 6%, let's just say on average it earns 10%.
Right.
4% of that interest off of it every year.
Right.
And then if it averages 10%, you're able to reinvest and grow that nut.
Right.
By reinvesting 6%. So that's kind of the strategy, right? But so it still requires that $2 million to pump off that much. But the point is that on the way to getting that $2 million, you just start socking it away. And on big months or bigger years, you sock more away before you know. Because you're so dedicated, you have a plan, you know what you're doing. You and your wife sit down, you say, and do some research on this FIRE number strategy, and also investing using dividend stocks and index funds. Do your own research on it, because how old are you, Brandon?
35. I just turned 35.
So, you could say to your wife, hey, look, this is look, if we could live on $6,700 a month, right? We can have a goal of nest egging $2 million in the next 10 years by just working and socking everything that we make away, and also building a business and making money in a business. And get your $2 million by 55, or excuse me, you're 35, excuse me, by 45, and be done.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
That's a real plan. That's a realistic plan where you give yourself, hey, I got 10 years. I got to make $2 million. I got to make $2 million in 10 years. So that means I gotta put how much away, right? What's 10
Right.
mil? What's 2 million divided by 10?
Handy dandy calculator here.
Get old calci out.
Divided by 10. So
Yeah,
that's 200,000.
there you go. I'm a ninth grade dropout, so you got to use. So that's 200,000, man. So now we're, instead of like, oh my gosh, I got to earn $2 million in a year, I just need to step my game up. How much? What's the most money that you've ever made in a year?
Most money, I want to say my about 3 years ago, my last year at Formosa. So I started at Formosa Plastics, and then I moved to Dow Chemical. That year, I made about 130.
Okay, so you need to not even 2x your game, bro. You
Right.
know, like think about the effort, the output. Like think about that. You're 35 now. That's grind mode. You're in grind mode. I was in 35. Now I'm not talking to y'all out there who are 60, 65, 70 saying y'all aren't in grind mode. Y'all do you. I'm just talking to you, homie. You 35? Did you say you got wife, kids, family?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. You're in how many kids?
One.
All
Well, yeah, one.
You gonna maybe more? We don't know.
We'll see.
Okay. Hey, you're down, right? At least to try.
Yes, sir.
So um, you know, it's like you're in grind mode, man. 35, it's like get down to business, man. It's like learn these skills, learn this craft. You made 130, you don't even have to 2x your biggest year ever. And now you're in a whole new a whole new operating system. You're like, wow, the sky's the limit. This entrepreneur. Has your mind expanded? What impact have has this process, this journey already had on you in terms of challenging, your limiting beliefs that you may have had up until this point?
Absolutely. We we all have a tendency to put limits on ourselves at a certain point. And whenever I first going into this, it was nerve wracking just purely on the fact that I'm not the most computer literate guy. You know, I can barely work my radio half the time, but give me some tools, I could do just fine. So having to go through this process and learn actual computer work was pretty scary for me. And luckily, again, y'all do absolutely amazing whenever it comes to holding your hand and walking you through the process. That the team that you put together has been amazing. And it's allowed me to overcome the mindset of, I'm not smart enough to get this done. It's not necessarily how smart you are. It's how hard are you willing to work? Because that's basically what it boils down to. Screw smarts. That comes with time. Are you willing to dig deep? Are you willing to grind? And are you willing to do what needs to be done in order for you to learn this new step?
And is that the message that you got from me and our team about that? Is that you bringing that philosophy in? Is that also the philosophy that you've heard and understood through us and our training? Because I think that's important, and I'm just curious how that's developed within you.
I come from a fitness background, so I've always had that mindset whenever it's come to fitness and sports and things like that. Not so much whenever it comes to education or academics or anything of that nature. So y'all have done an amazing job in showing me that it's not that much different whenever it comes to this when compared to fitness. You're at a point where you are limited in your abilities, so you start very very small and you use your resources around you. My resources were y'all, every single one of your team. And allow them to progress you forward and show you that that next step is not so far away from you as you actually think. So it's been an amazing mind shift throughout this whole journey.
Now that we've addressed the hard work, the mindset, how has life already changed? I mean, what are some of the results? What are some of the achievements? What has happened since you've started that has exceeded your expectations or helped you to decide to double down on this and really kind of say, okay, yeah, I've tested this and I want to really give this a full effort?
Um, uh, Getting comfortable with the whole online networking process. That's been a huge uh, battle for me, and knowing the fact that I was able to overcome that, that's gave me a whole lot more motivation to keep on moving forward and uh, build it. My business has done well. I've been able to I've been blessed enough to pretty much allow us to be debt free now, and now we're able to again put the money where we would like it to be. That's been a huge blessing. We're not having to worry about finances as much as we were. I mean, again, the plant life pays very well, but I'm trying to provide a life for my family that I never had the ability to have.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and that gets expensive. So the fact that I've been able to provide that, and we're not struggling, that makes me want to dive down harder.
Yeah.
And again, just the team. I keep on going back towards the team because I wouldn't be here if I didn't have the motivation and everybody's patience for one thing, to walk me through this whole process. So I feel like one of the reasons why I've been successful is not only because I have an amazing support group here with my wife, but the support group that I get from y'all. So it's been a huge blessing throughout this whole process.
Well, you're a blessed man.
Yes, sir.
You're a blessed man, brother. I mean, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing the description of a very blessed man. Um, and so you deserve this. You know, you deserve this. What's happening for you, and you're grateful for what you have. I can sense that, and you do have this work ethic and these values that is going to continue to carry you here in this game. Um, this game called life, and also this game called entrepreneurship, because it's not easy, and it requires a certain amount of uh, gratitude. It requires a certain amount of luck. Some of that luck is about preparation, and when that preparation meets opportunity, and you actually having your doors open because you made it through those tough winter times, and you're still actually in business. um, a lot of it is about getting comfortable, being uncomfortable. What is your advice for people who are struggling around the thing that you mentioned with getting on camera, with creating content, with putting yourself out there, with criticizing yourself, and just really not being used to seeing yourself on camera? I mean, here you and I are, we're having a conversation. You're front and center. You're able to see yourself. I mean, it's not always that's not always a easy thing for people to do, right? We look outward. We don't you know so you put up a camera, you see yourself, then you put yourself online. Comments come in. I don't know what your struggle was around that, but you mentioned it. So what's your advice for how you dealt with it, overcame it, and what others could do that may help?
Oh man. All people can say is just words. I mean, that's the only thing that I keep on going through my head. I don't know if you noticed, I have a speech impediment. I stutter. So whenever I'm making my videos, that's one of the things that I'm really trying to work on. And it was really a struggle for me because it's uncomfortable watching or rewatching the videos and trying to make the content better. And then I'm just, in my mind, all I'm hearing is just myself getting caught up, and it's progressively getting worse. And I'm like, good gosh, that sounds horrible. And for people who are scared to put their face out there, I mean, my advice is it's only as bad as you make it out to be. Because the worst that they can do is just say some words. They're not physically hurting you in any way, shape or form. And anybody who has any negative thing to say, their opinions aren't worth even listening to in the first place. So just put yourself out there and believe in yourself. It's not that it's just a matter of saying whether or not or I don't know. That's it. Just believe in yourself and don't listen to anybody else's criticism that's negative, because if it's negative, then it's not worth even listening to.
Did I meet you sometime in an event?
Yes, sir. The previous mastermind in Louisiana.
Okay, I thought so, man. I thought you were there. Good to see you again, man.
Yes, sir. It's a pleasure.
How did that event? Is this your first time on Wake Up Legendary?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How did how did that event impact you, and what was that experience like for you?
Oh, just motivation, man. Having an opportunity to not only finally meet the team face to face, which was awesome, but just seeing other people who have had tremendous success allowed me the opportunity to view it as in like, oh, okay, if it was another one of those situations to where if they can do it, I can do it. Like I can see it. It's in reach. It's not as far as I have it placed in my mind. And then, the motivation, the information that I took from it. I've been writing in y'all's little book here, and I've been using all the information that I learned from that mastermind. Having the opportunity to meet you, Sean, Eric has been absolutely tremendous throughout this whole coaching process, and I can't say enough good things about him. It's been good. It's been a really good process, and again, coming home from there, I wish I was able to stay. I wish I wasn't called in, because I don't know if you remember, I had to leave Sunday back and then come back to work, but
Right.
it was an awesome experience, and I'm actually looking forward to the one here in January.
Man, it's amazing, man, that when you just kind of, God, when you just get humble and you just learn and I don't know, man. I mean, success is really just, it's such a simple thing, because so many people are just unwilling to just do the simple work, just stick with it. I don't know. I hear you, and I hear about a guy who just, I hear a guy who just doesn't have any excuses. I mean, I'm just,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. I mean, look, life, most people, they got nothing but excuses. I mean,
Right.
so it's nice, man, and it's nice to hear somebody who, I don't know, sometimes I feel like, I hear people's excuses all the time. I mean, and it's like, I don't know. I think part of life in staying happy is actually lowering your standards for people,
Oh yes.
because then you don't have unrealistic expectations, because an expectation is a resentment waiting to happen. Um, but man, it's nice, and I've got people in my life, obviously, who are like no excuses people, and I try to keep those people around me, and those are my closest friends. Those are my people. But I mean, you're speaking my language, and it's like, hey, this is even the hand of cards I was dealt, which is, I've got the speech impediment piece, and I'm putting myself out there on video, front and center. I mean, there's not anything you could be doing that would be more like, let me work on this, let me overcome this,
Right.
than that. I mean, it's, I guess I feel like I kind of did that same thing too, because in a sense, when I came online, I just had gotten clean a year ago. I mean, a year previous to that, this was back in like 2009. And I mean, I had a rap sheet. I had, various DUI, possession of marijuana, like crap like that, fleeing and eluding. Um, but, I put myself out there, and then I was very afraid of people finding that out. You know what I
Right.
mean? Being like, oh, look, this guy's, he's a junkie, or he's a bum, or a homeless. I don't know. I was just afraid of all of it, right? And I was also like really poor working with construction with my dad. So I didn't have, it was all of the weight of the world of limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome.
Right.
And um, yeah, it was so much that I had to just finally start talking about it and sharing my story, quote, deeper, because I didn't want to be exposed. I didn't want somebody else. Now nobody gave a shit about me anyways. I wasn't, I was in a phase where nobody was watching my videos, but I'm the most important person in my little world. We all are, right? We're all self-absorbed with ourselves and think that every video we're putting out is going to be broadcasted across, this, like the State of the Union address. But so anyways, I started telling deeper parts of my story just to ease my own anxiety, right?
Absolutely.
And then eventually I just got better at it, and then it became polarizing because I was telling an interesting story, and then success started happening, unbeknownst to me, and as a surprise to me. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe people are buying and opting in and all this stuff, right? And
Right.
I learned to act as if I deserved success. I just learned to act as if I was getting compensated, and people were buying through my affiliate links and buying my stuff because I was delivering a certain amount of value. In my
Absolutely.
past, in attributes of my who I was, or like my body, or anything like that, or my hair, or my voice, or all the little things that we tend to pick apart on ourselves, my skin, I we've some of my insecurities were as much as my hair, how I looked so pasty on camera. It's been how gray I am now. I'm like, oh my God, I woke up one day and it was like I went from being like 30 to 40, and it's like Santa Claus, um, with a goatee. But I had to go through that, and eventually I just embraced it, and then I acted as if I deserved that success, the compensation in exchange for the value that I was providing. And it wasn't about the past, wasn't about the future. It was just who I was in that moment to somebody. The genuine, I try to be genuine. I am genuine, but at the end of the day, I also learned that it was also transactional. If I deliver value, they don't people don't really care that much. So
Right.
not a moral thing. I don't need to prove myself or explain myself. I just need to learn how to deliver value. This is not me. I'm not trying to write myself to the world, or they just, people are looking for value solutions, entertainment. And then things got easier, but it was difficult in the early days. And that was what my grind felt like. Probably different external circumstances, but likely similar internal feelings for you and everybody else, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what is one thing that you've learned about yourself throughout this journey, if you were to just kind of think of something top ahead?
One thing I've learned about myself, oh man, that I can do this. Um,
That's
I mean, it's just kind of simple. It's really more of revalidation and reassuring myself that I can do this. It's not. I've always had the mindset that there's nothing that I can't do that if I just put my mind to it. You know, if I just get behind it and just put my head down and bulldoze through, there's nothing that I can't achieve. So going through this just validated that fact. Like I just needed to uh, say screw it. I'm not going to listen to all those negative thoughts or all those negative people talking around me, wanting me to not go through this. This is in my heart. I have the people around me that I should be listening to that truly care about me, saying that there's nothing stopping me other than me. So just bulldoze through, and it's more along the lines of validation, learning that to just not listen to external or internal negative thoughts and just persevere.
And what I hear is you saying, and you tell me if this fits, learning to trust myself.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's a great way of explaining that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way. There was a long time in my life where I didn't make the best decisions, and part of that was youth and immaturity and lack of
Yes, sir.
experience. And then part of it was mistakes that I've made.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, now as I get older, I I've gathered all of those experiences and I can make better choices for myself, and I do know what's best for me.
Right.
I do know what is best for me. I know that, me, yeah, I know that what is going to make me happy, what is not going to make me happy. I need to learn how to, um, follow that unapologetically and not make it everybody else's problem or responsibility that I'm going to pursue a dream or I'm going to fulfill a passion or a purpose of mine, but I need to just do it as a man or as a woman. And it feels good when you take ownership over your own happiness, your own fulfillment of your purpose. And it looks good on you, brother. So I look forward to seeing you in Austin here at the end of January. Keep up the great work. Great to have you on the show, man.
Thank
You
you for
really,
having me.
and thanks for being here and telling your story and giving back, man. And I will talk to you really soon, brother.
Yes, sir.
Stay legendary. All right, my friends, you can find and follow Brandon over on TikTok and Instagram at buildwealth_operator. Buildwealth_operator. All right, my friends, as we talked about there, Brandon mentioned the mastermind that we had in New Orleans. Amazing time. Austin is going to be incredible as well. There's still some seats left if you want to join us. You can, and if we can get that link up on the screen, you can go and grab tickets at legendarymarketer.com/enroll and meet us in Austin, Texas. I am just so excited to see everybody there. It's going to be a blast. You can go to that same link, legendarymarketer.com/enroll, to get started with all of our courses, the same education that we've been talking about here on the show for the last 43 minutes. We'll look forward to seeing you back there. Brand new confidence challenge is launched. Go through it. It's incredible. The feedback's been great. Of course, we've got our marketing challenge, the Learn, Launch, Lead challenge. You can find information about that as well. And yeah, my friends, let's have an awesome December. Let's finish the year strong. Really looking forward to, doing that and then having the best year yet in 2025, my friends. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode. Take care, be great, stay legendary. Thanks again, Brandon, and we'll talk to you later. Get out of here. Peace.